Tonight on Q2, dangers behind a derailment.
You know, when you put a bunch of it into a river, it's going to significantly degrade habitat for fish and wildlife.
Environmental groups raise concerns over the coal and the impact it could have on the Yellowstone River.
You can do it.
Plus, an All-American on and off the stage.
My biggest dream, honestly, is to be on Broadway.
A Wyoming student set to make school history by capturing a prestigious honor. And an 8-second ride.
What I think we have planned is going to be a significant upgrade.
Outdoor rodeo set to return to Billings for the first time in years with some exciting goals in mind. The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. The investigation continues tonight into Monday night's train derailment on private property just west of Miles City. We now know that derailment sent 25 coal-carrying cars off the tracks, with some dangling over the Yellowstone River. However, according to BNSF, none of those cars actually fell into the river. It remains unclear if any of the coal from the train spilled into the water. The goal was to have the tracks back open at some point today. As of 2:30 this afternoon, the fire chief says he hadn't seen any trains go through town yet. Well, despite not having a lot of information right now, one environmental group is already voicing concerns. As our Haley Monaco reports, they say it's always dangerous for any species in the river when coal is spilled in or near the banks of the water.
A car full of coal is 200,000 pounds, so that's a lot of material potentially that's in the river.
25 train cars hauling coal derailed near Miles City Monday night, right next to the Yellowstone River.
The main effect is the sediments, so that the dust from that coal gets into the aquatic system. It can cover organisms. It also can affect their reproduction, their longevity.
It has not been made public yet how much, if any, coal was spilled into the Yellowstone River from this train derailment, but seeing a second derailment along the river in just 2 years is cause for concern for Kehan Ostavar.
Are we doing enough to protect this really important, iconic river in our community?
I first met Ostavar in 2023 at the Reed Point train derailment. As the director of the Yellowstone River Research Center and professor of environmental science, he cares deeply about the river and the impact from these events.
This is the second train wreck that's happened in a week in eastern Montana, and it's the fourth major hydrocarbon disaster that's happened on the Yellowstone River since the Exxon oil spill in 2011.
Last summer alone, his team cleaned up thousands of pounds of spillage from the Reed Point train derailment.
We found about 2,000 pounds of material last summer that we removed. That includes the asphalt, also includes sulfur and aluminum scrap.
Obviously, having a locomotive or cars of any type go in to a river of any type is going to affect habitat and local water quality impacts.
Guy Alsenser is the executive director of Upper Missouri Waterkeeper, an organization dedicated to protecting rivers.
Coal being dumped into waterways, that pollutes water quality, it harms habitat, and makes it less likely that our waterways will support the things that we care about, that we all care about: fishable, swimmable, drinkable water.
Alsenser says steps need to be taken to prevent derailments.
Let's invest in meaningful strategies and engineering practices to know where we got degraded infrastructure. Let's clean it up, let's fix it, and let's get on with it. What are the reasonable steps that we can take to not just mitigate this, but to reduce, if not eliminate, these things from happening? Because our rivers can only handle so much.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
We're now nearly 2 years removed from that train derailment near Reed Point, which sent 10 cars tumbling into the Yellowstone River, spilling hundreds of thousands of pounds of asphalt into the water. Now the Fish Consumption Advisory Board of Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks still says it's dangerous to consume shorthead red horse, a fish in the sucker family. FWP officials say that fish is most concerning to women of childbearing age, including nursing mothers and women who are or may become pregnant. The fish were found to have elevated levels of hydrocarbons, which was also detected in various other fish tissue in the summer of 2023 and 2024 after that derailment occurred. Those hydrocarbons can range from simple gas such as methane to long-chain chemicals found in crude oil. FWP does say that human consumption of shorthead red horse is pretty uncommon to begin with. An off-duty Yellowstone County deputy who suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound after crashing his vehicle into a house earlier this month is now on administrative leave. 31-year-old Jason Thompson, a 5-year veteran of the agency, was found seriously injured at his residence during the early morning hours of Saturday, February 15th. Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder says Thompson first drove his vehicle into a house at the corner of Hawthorne Lane and Barrett Road before fleeing the scene. Responders followed the tracks to his residence, where they discovered him with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was taken to a Billings hospital, but as of now, there's no update on his condition. The Montana Highway Patrol is still investigating the crash, with Linder saying Thompson is currently on administrative leave. The ice jam on the Tongue River in Custer County is broken free without causing any major issues. This was the scene yesterday morning when that jam formed, stretching from the mouth of the Yellowstone River to the golf course. That caused a temporary obstruction in the river's flow, but now that has passed, the flood advisory has been canceled. However, a flood warning is in effect for the Yellowstone River now near Glendive. With the latest on the weather front, here's Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
Continuing to see a lot of that snow and ice continue to melt in areas like Pryor Creek. Thanks for sharing that. We just got that a couple of moments ago. You can always share photos at weather@ktvq.com. Live look with the Stockman Bank weather cam. Another mild day for Billings at 34 first thing in the morning. Just didn't quite make the 50 degrees by later in the day, but the wind's starting to pick up a little bit for us as well, and we're going to see more of that regionally. Afternoon temperatures today, for the reports that we have so far this evening, into the low 50s across much of northeastern Montana and 40s across southern Montana into northern Wyoming. We'll see the temperatures go up, but also see the wind speeds increase. We're going to talk about the forecast details in just a few minutes.
Two Billings nonprofits are joining forces in hopes of strengthening senior services. Big Sky Senior Services and the Adult Resource Alliance of Yellowstone County have agreed to merge and combine resources in order to create a stronger, more comprehensive support system for the county's aging population. The partnership will enhance efforts to address critical challenges such as housing, transportation, in-home care, food security, and elder abuse prevention. Both executive directors are excited for their future, saying that nearly 100 years of combined experience will have a major impact on the community.
We get to combine resources in a way that we can serve people with a one-stop shop. We have the opportunity for a senior to walk into any location and say, I need help with, and then they can name the things they need help with, or we can help identify those things for them.
I would say the impact is going to be great, and so that's really the driving force is, being able to meet our mission in a different way, a better way for both of us. And then on the business side of things, it's this collaborative approach to using resources.
Both directors ensure a smooth transition, saying all current programs and service will remain in place without disruption during the merger. Outdoor rodeo is set to return to Montana Fair in Billings. It'll be the first outside rodeo in the Magic City in the last several years. And as our Scott Breen found out, new Rodeo Billings definitely has some exciting ideas in store.
Hi everybody, Scott Breen at Metro Park with a rodeo update. It sort of takes us back in time to this very spot behind me. Remember the excitement of summer nights at Montana Fair's outdoor rodeo? Well, get ready to saddle up again. Last summer, we shared that the beloved tradition was set to return, and now puzzle pieces are connecting.
It's a new adventure every day.
That's David Allen, general manager of the Nile, addressing folks at a Wednesday media gathering. His adventure is not only bringing outdoor rodeo back to Montana Fair, but re-energizing it, right down to the rebranding of what's now Rodeo Billings.
What I think we have planned is going to be a significant upgrade.
One of the biggest draws is an impressive prize money boost, an additional $15,000 for each rough stock event and $7,500 for timed events. Allen's vision also goes beyond just the cash. He'll bring in legendary rodeo announcer Bob Tallman, music director Jacob Narducci, and top-tier contractors like J-Bar J and Pickett. That, along with elite Preferred equipment. We've shared all contract personnel in our story at montanasports.com, but at the heart of his revival, Allen has an outdoor arena budgeted for $2.5 million that's set to rise right here near the old grandstands. New bleachers will seat 3,200 fans on one side with plenty of room for future expansion.
We've heard so much about how the rodeo needs to be outside, and just the sounds and the lights and all the things that come with it.
Ticket prices are still in the works, but Allen says they'll be family friendly and include gate admission. As for a time frame on the arena,
we're going to be working in some mud here for a few weeks to get all of the ground prepped, but July 15th is the drop dead date for all of that to be in place.
This year's rodeo will launch with 3 nights from August 16th to 18th, strategically planned to catch contestants heading from Caldwell, Idaho's rodeo towards Baker's.
It's a shame to see the number of horse trailers drive by on this freeway every day going somewhere else to not only compete but to spend their money in those communities.
Pretty lucrative in the eyes of the cowboys. There'll be north of 30,000 in each event when you combine the 2 rodeos together.
Personally, a summertime rodeo should be outside, so I'm looking forward to being able to bring something really neat to Billings.
Scott Breen, MTN Sport.